The ocean is the largest archive on Earth, and sometimes it plays back what we tried to forget. The year was 1969. The Cold War had turned the oceans into invisible listening posts. Both the United States and the Soviet Union filled the Atlantic with underwater microphones, hydrophones, capable of detecting the faintest sound from hundreds of miles away. The American network, known as SOSUS, Sound Surveillance System, was designed to track Soviet submarines. But one summer, it captured something else. Something that didn't move like a submarine, didn't echo like machinery. The sound came from a point between the Bahamas and the Sargasso Sea, the very heart of the Bermuda Triangle. The official report described it as a repetitive sound of unknown origin. It followed a precise rhythm that would haunt scientists for decades. 5 beats, a pause, 5 beats, silence. The case was labeled Anomaly B47. The lead analyst was Dr. Leonard G. Parker, a civilian oceanographer working with the U.S. Navy. He wrote, "The source appears metallic in nature, yet organic in pattern. Too regular to be natural, too irregular to be mechanical." The pulse lasted exactly 47 seconds, repeating every 11 minutes. Its core frequency, 5.17 Hz, the same number that would surface in other naval recordings over the next half-century. When Parker plotted the coordinates, he froze. The sound originated less than 30 kilometers from the last known position of Flight 19 in 1945. Between 1969 and 1973, SOSUS recorded the same acoustic pattern 16 times, always in the same area, always at the same hour, 4:17 a.m. At first, they thought it was a submarine anomaly, but the sound came from over 13,000 feet deep, a depth no manned craft could survive. Triangulation attempts failed. Sometimes the signal seemed to rise from the abyss. Other times, it came from the air above the surface. Soon after, the Navy sealed the files. Anomaly B47 was classified top secret, and the sea went silent again. In 1977, the British Royal Navy dispatched the research vessel HMS Wexford to study magnetic and seismic fluctuations near Bermuda. On the night of September 12th, the crew recorded an unusual sonar return. 5 deep pulses followed by a metallic echo. Sonar operator Andrew Clements recalled, "At first I thought it was feedback, but the sound began to answer. Every time we pinged, it replied, almost like it was aware of us. Then the hull started to tremble. Moments later, the ship's power failed. For 3 hours, the Wexford drifted, engines dead, systems unresponsive. When power returned, the vessel's navigation logs showed something impossible. It had moved 23 nautical miles without wind or current. The incident vanished from British records for nearly 30 years. In 1988, Scottish oceanographer Dr. Colin Murray, professor at the University of Glasgow, obtained partial access to the Wexford tapes. When he slowed the audio and ran it through a waveform analyzer, he realized something extraordinary. The sound S waveform was identical to the low-frequency background noise heard in the final radio transmissions of Flight 19. Not similar, identical. Murray presented his findings at the International Conference on Marine Acoustics in Oslo in 1990. 2 days later, he received an official letter from the British Ministry of Defence, demanding all material be surrendered for reasons of national security. He never spoke publicly again. In 1992, the U.S. Navy quietly launched Project Trident, a joint effort with NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Its mission: investigate unidentified marine acoustic phenomena in the Western Atlantic. Between 1993 and 1999, dozens of acoustic buoys were deployed across the Bermuda Triangle. Every one of them recorded the same sequence: 5 short beats, 1 long. Sometimes, the pulses occurred simultaneously across vast distances, as if the ocean itself were vibrating. A classified memo from 1996 stated, "The signal displays adaptive behavior. Its amplitude and rhythm alter in response to observation. In simpler terms, when we measure it, it changes." At 2:41 a.m., July 18, 1997, the NOAA submersible Deep Blue was conducting research near the Sargasso Sea. Midway through its mission, its sonar detected the same 5-beat signature. The source appeared to circle the sub, drawing closer, then retreating. Suddenly, the navigation system failed. The submarine spun 180 degrees on its axis, without human input. Oceanographer James Crawley wrote in his log, "It felt like we were being watched. The sound wasn't outside, it was inside the walls, vibrating through the metal." 2 hours later, Deep Blue resurfaced. No damage. But the pressure readings made no sense. For several seconds, the instruments showed negative depth, as if the vessel had been momentarily above the ocean while still submerged. In 2003, the cargo ship Santa Estrella was en route from Bermuda to the Bahamas when its crew reported a strange sound echoing through the hull, a slow, hammering rhythm. The captain described it as like someone striking the ship from below. The radio operator managed to record 15 seconds of audio. Years later, experts confirmed the frequency. 5.17 hertz. But the recording contained something new. When slowed down, faint human voices became audible, layered beneath the pulses. Most were unintelligible, but one phrase in English could be heard clearly. "We can see the light again." In 2006, France launched Project ECHO, a collaborative effort between the University of Nantes and the Musée de la Marine. The goal was to study low-frequency ocean vibrations in the Central Atlantic, theorized as natural standing waves created by tectonic movement. But what they found was anything but natural. Between 2007 and 2011, the project logged hundreds of anomalies, all following the same pattern. The signals intensified each year on specific dates: December 5th, the anniversary of Flight 19, and December 1st, the day the Cotopaxi departed Charleston. An unpublished draft of the final report read, "The acoustic pattern suggests a repetitive, self-referencing behavior. The signal does not originate randomly. It seems to be an echo of a previous event, as if the ocean were replaying something it once heard." In 2014, French and Brazilian researchers from the Atlantic Alive project attempted something unprecedented. They played back the 5-beat sound into the ocean using high-power underwater speakers, hoping to measure a resonant response. The test site, 3,200 meters deep, near the original Flight 19 coordinates. For 6 minutes, nothing. Then, the sea answered. A faint, delayed echo. Not identical, but undeniably responsive, as if the ocean itself had learned the sound. The hydrophones picked up additional noise, a low hum, followed by a broken phrase in French, distorted but clear enough to translate. "Ici le Cotopaxi demande autorisation de retour." This is the Cotopaxi, requesting permission to return. The audio was archived, analyzed, and quietly erased from the project's database months later. In 2020, oceanographer Philippe Arnaud, known for studying the Atlantic song phenomenon, returned to the region with advanced acoustic arrays. What he discovered was beyond scientific explanation. At depths exceeding 5,000 meters, sensors recorded a 3-dimensional sound field, a moving sphere of energy, drifting beneath the waves. Inside it, sound waves bent and folded, repeating endlessly in layered loops. Arnaud wrote in his field journal, "It's not a signal, it's memory. The ocean is playing back what it saw, exactly as it saw it." The data revealed a new harmonic frequency, 10.34 hertz, precisely double the original signal, as if the ocean had learned to amplify its own voice. Today, the recordings from Project Trident and Project ECHO remain sealed, but fragments have leaked into the scientific community. Every one of them carries the same fingerprint: 5 beats, 1 pause, followed by silence deeper than any trench. No one agrees on what it means. Some say it's seismic, others magnetic. But among sailors and deep-sea crews, there's another explanation. They say the sea is speaking, that it remembers, and in its depths, the sound of the past never truly fades.